This is Steve again. I'm back after a few years. Got a little demo here of this is the Fender Esquire Deluxe. So it's from Squire. It's not a real Fender. So we have a Chinese-made guitar here. I think it was about $300 on a Labor Day or someday sale. Just couldn't resist it. I was looking for a guitar with a humbucker pickup, and this one has a really cool telly shape to it. It has this nice brown finish on it. This always get the the unique finish. 2 volume and tone knobs and a 3-way chicken selector that goes between the humbucker with the tone controls attached, and then a single coil with the tone controls attached, and then straight ahead. So here, roll off the tone and the volume. And then just a single coil. Very Rage Against the Machine. So that was all I was looking for. So other than that, we just got a jack on the bottom, typical Fender style, string through body, and then a nice little flat bridge at the bottom here. Nice maple neck with the slab fretboard, separated 2-piece, but it's still nice. Some frets. The scale feels to be the scale of a Stratocaster. Got the nice 70s style, very large headstock with the Esquire Deluxe. A little bit of a unique guitar for you. It's got some vintage tuners that are not that great, but other than that, it's a great guitar. This is the stock strings that it came with, but I'm actually gonna set it up in a drop B. So I'll do a little part 2 where you get it to sound like that, because in my mind it was definitely more of a heavier guitar. Even though it's got that 70s style, you could do some heavy 70s style stuff. So I'm gonna put that on and see what we get out of it, but sounds pretty good. This is bypass the tone controls. And then here's with all the way up, we get the same. Roll off a little tone, roll off a little volume. Oh, and then here's the single coil with the tone controls up. Very like. Really liked the tone that I was getting from this guitar. I still had my usual solid state amp, but it really sounded nice. I really liked how it had a heavy low end despite being such a lightweight guitar. When I was changing the strings, I could really feel how lightweight it was, and I think most of that was due to the poplar body. It was still pretty easy to change the strings, and it took the heavier gauge strings pretty easily, and it didn't fight at all when it came time to tune it or anything like that. I really like the heavy sound that comes from it, but I thought what we heard in E Standard was just really a good value for what you're getting for $300. I think the regular price for this guitar is like $400, but it was on sale at $100 off, and for that, I can't say no. It's something called the Fender Paranormal series, I think, which is sort of a reimagining of guitars that could have been. Everyone knows the Esquire was one of the first Fender guitars that Leo Fender ever designed with just one pickup, but it was not released as the Esquire, I think, because of copyright issues, and it was the Nocaster or something, but it was a one pickup guitar like this one is, so it's a really cool use of the name. And the Deluxe, giving it just a humbucking pickup with 3 different modes, is really a great value if you're only going to give us one pickup. If that saves $50 off to the cost of the guitar, that's all I need, because I mostly just use the bridge pickup anyway, and giving 3 different variations on it is just a huge value. Didn't have any trouble with the strings, even though I was complaining about those tuners not being very easy to use. They were pretty easy to change the string the string gauge on with no problems. Tuned up pretty easily too, so that was really exciting. For you expect when you're dropping 1.5, 2.5 steps that you're gonna have some problems, but it didn't have any trouble at all. And yeah, I thought this was a really high quality guitar. I never would have guessed it was from China 10 years ago, but these days, what they have is good enough. So, clean it up, stretching out the strings. Got a pretty nice setup on this guy considering the low cost. Usually those cheap guitars don't even allow you to do one good setup and get the thing in tune, but this one was dream. So here, let's check out what it sounds like in we're in C sharp now, so it's a totally different tuning, and I think it really brings this guitar out. It was easy to work on. I think this is a really good value guitar for the price that they're asking, $300. It takes a nice heavier gauge string. I got Ernie Ball Paradigm 56 gauge string, so Not Even Slinkies. And it just sounds great, and it was super easy to set up and tune. It only took me about 20 minutes to change the strings out, tune them up. It's like it was set up for this. Gives it a lot more balls. So here's the, with a little bit of roll off. Here's the single coil rolled down. Now here's with that all the way up. Oh, you can even do the real single coil teletone for that. Yeah, so I'm really surprised at the performance of this thing with the heavy gauge strings. It goes down to drop B quite nicely. The hardware's performing a lot better than with those really light gauge strings, so I feel like everything's like real tight. I got a nice setup on it. Strings are a little bit loosened up now, and I think it's really ripping. Like, you don't expect that kind of tone out of a $300 guitar with basically at this point a pawn shop class amp. I got my original MG100 DFX from Marshall. My parents bought that for me for Christmas in probably 1999, maybe the year 2000, something like that, maybe 2001. But yeah, it's 20 plus years. That's a great sounding amp. And you know, you're talking a pawn shop amp and a $300 guitar, and you can get some really cool tones out of it. Really killer. Yeah, so how about you guys let me know what you want to hear next. If I can pick something up and do a little review of it. You know, if it's something cheap, it'll be really cool to check it out. Looking forward to see some of the comments, and I hope